They need to be eaten fresh. The heart of a pig. Kidneys. Pork hanger or hanger steak. This here is a spleen. And finally, liver. We're going to make a thing called slaughter day fry. This is more than one family can eat before it spoils. So traditionally, all of the meat of the pig, salted, cured, which means preserved. This stuff is not so preservable. It perishes. Rather than just waste it, we're going to cube it all up, we're going to fry it up, we're going to make a little sauce. This is also a really great way to enjoy offal. The thing about fresh offal is that it is effortlessly delicious. I don't have to torture flavor out of it with a bunch of crazy spices and specifically measured ingredients. I can just, a little bit of fat, a little bit of salt, and don't cook it too much. And it will be I pulled out all the stops to get the scalder, the tank, and the burner to just be working perfectly, which it's not that many stops, but it does take an extra intentionality to be like, I sort of refuse to do plan B. You know what my plan B is now? If for whatever reason, your barrel explodes, you drop your burner and it breaks, rather than going to towel scalding or trying to use water, I go to the torch. Go to the propane torch. And we've talked about it a little bit before. I think I might have written something on it in a harvest journal. The propane torch does work quite well. Like the propane burning torch. It's a jet burner. It really pumps the propane out. And if the scald just falls apart for whatever technical reason, I'll grab the torch. And the way you use the torch is you blast that pig pretty good. So I do one pass with the torch so that I get very large goose pimples, goose bumpy skin on the scurf, the pigmented layer. And then I scrape that off. And you'll notice that what remains is all the hair. It's just a little shorter, right? So you got to get all that hair off. And the way you do that is you torch that pig hard. You're going to feel like you're burning it. Even if you get it, the skin blackens on you, no worries. Torch, torch, torch. And what you're doing is you're burning the hair all the way down to the follicle, all the way into the skin. And there's a couple advantages to this. The disadvantage is a lot of elbow grease, because then you got to go back and scrub the pig. Scrape the pig a second time after this intense torching. But see, the thing is, it's effective. So even though it's a lot of toil, it works. And I would argue that the thing that is the most depressing thing about, a pig scraping experience that doesn't go well is not necessarily the toil, it's the futility. We are humans. We need purpose. We need to feel like we are accomplishing something. And when you're just toiling and getting nowhere, whoa, that's Sisyphean, right? By definition, that's what happens in Hades. Don't do that. What am I saying? So you have to go back again after the hard torch where even some of the skin is blackened, and scrape. And then if you really want it pristine, you scrub it with a hose. And you got to keep it constantly wet while you're doing this. Otherwise, that which you dislodge with the scrubber, like a rough, coarse sponge, that which you dislodge, if it dries, it'll just readhere. So you got to scrub, rinse all over the carcass, and it will be beautiful. You will get that thing lovely. And the skin will be tender, such that it is desirable and rewarding to leave a little slice of skin on each bacon slice. The skin will be more tender than a scalded and scraped pig. So when you go to slice it, your knife will just go right through it. You're like, whoa, because the skin is a little cooked. And William Cobbett says it makes the bacon a little sweeter. He says it's a superior method. So when the scald fails, I say go to the torch. That's the whole point of all that. And it's a lot of toil. The reason I don't do it all the time is because it is more work than a successful scald and scrape. A torch and scrape is more work because it's a torch scrape, right? So, but it's a good plan B. It's better than the scalding towels or the ladling hot water on, I have found. So I carry a torch in my slaughter truck every time I go to kill a pig, just in case. Because I know someone, and I want to get to it in the Meatsmith table. Someone dropped their burner, and I have done that. I've showed up to a job, dropped my burner, and snapped the metal pipe that goes to the hose that goes to the valve. Consequently, burner is useless. I have done that at the beginning of the day. It's horrible. So I know all your pains. I've been there. I've been there so hard. So have a torch. Have a propane torch on hand.